Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back, or welcome if this is your first time here. Today we're going to be talking about DC League of Super Pets. This is an animated movie that came out in 2022, and I just watched it last night, and I have some thoughts. Going into this movie, I knew that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson played Krypto, and I knew that John Krasinski played Superman, but honestly, once I finished watching this movie and I looked at the cast list, I was surprised at the depth that the cast list had in terms of star power. You've got big name actors just playing small roles, just little side characters. For example, you've got Diego Luna in this movie, who's a big actor, and he probably isn't even in the top 5 for lines or for role size in this movie. You've got Keanu Reeves, who essentially only has half a dozen lines in this movie, so there's a lot of depth cast-wise. And the more things I watch, I tend to recognize actors and actresses' names more. But still, even with that being the case, it surprised me looking at the cast list how many I really recognize, because I recognize nearly the entire cast. And with all these big actors and actresses voicing the characters in this movie, I think that, purely speculation, that the animation budget might have taken a hit, because this is a 2022 movie from Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is known for its animation, especially with DC, and the animation in this movie, while it's okay, it's not incredible. And you'd think it would be, even though it's a different style, a style that they're not known for. It's 2022, and Warner Brothers, the DC department for Warner Brothers has so much experience with animation. But with that being said, the animation's not bad, it just doesn't blow you away. So honestly, that could be chalked up to the animation style just not being one that I prefer, so maybe that's just a personal thing for me. Now, as far as the story and the movie itself goes, I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence. It's just kind of alright. I don't really love it, but I don't dislike it.
I'm medium on it, if I'm honest.
And I'm not sure what exactly it is. There are probably several factors that go into that. Number one probably being that I'm not the target demographic. This is clearly aimed toward a younger audience. But I'm a strong believer that animation is for all ages. And whether a movie's animated or not, if it's released for all ages, it should be able to be enjoyed by all ages. And while there are plenty of animated movies that I really enjoy, I felt like this one was geared toward kids a little bit too far, and that I couldn't really connect with it as much as other animated movies. And I think the reason for that is that this movie kind of falls into a lot of tropes that you see in kids' movies, and some of the humor just doesn't hit. I think that there are some funny parts, a lot of Lulu's lines.
I say this with love. You are all losers. You've always been losers, and you'll continue to be losers until the end of your loser lives.
And the Turtles lines, whose name I forget. Their writing was pretty good in terms of being funny for kids and adults, but a lot of the other humor in the movie just kind of felt like it was geared toward kids and kids alone. Also, a lot of the times, well, there weren't many times, but some of the times that they tried to be cool in the movie, it just didn't work. And the main thing I'm thinking of is when the Justice League first arrives in that scene in the first act. It just, oh my goodness. No.
Thanks for building your stupid, evil headquarters on the river. Very convenient for the water guy. I'm Aquaman!
When I saw that scene, my reaction was literally,
I miss my parents.
they did the Smash Bros intro for the Justice League, kind of like how they did it for Suicide Squad. In Suicide Squad 2016, it was just not a good idea, but it wasn't super cringy. In this movie, I kind of cringed, not gonna lie. But all of that again can just fall into me not being part of the target demographic. Regardless of whether or not this movie was claimed to be for all ages, it is geared more toward kids. So me not connecting with the humor, me not finding what's supposed to be cool, that can just be me not being a kid, because this is supposed to be for kids, whether they'll say that or not. With all that being said, there are some highlights in this movie. A lot of Lulu's lines, as I stated before, are really good and funny. A lot of the Turtles lines are good and funny. I liked some of the other characters, even if they're not funny. They were good characters and the voice work was good. I very much enjoyed seeing Batman lose a fight to guinea pigs, only because all the Batman fans who say, oh, Batman could beat this character with prep time. Oh, he could beat this character with prep time. Stop it. Lose to some guinea pigs. You deserve this. You brought this upon yourself. And I did enjoy some of the other DC references that they managed to sneak into this movie. For example, at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, when all of the animals belong to different Justice League members, I do enjoy the turtle's shell looking like Jay Garrick's helmet. I thought that was a cool little reference they got to throw in there, some Flash lore if you know anything about that. And that was just something that was for DC fans, not necessarily for kids, because kids don't know Jay Garrick, typically. So I enjoy things like that they got to sneak into the movie. Now, I don't really have too much more to say about this movie. It wasn't my favorite. It was just alright, in my opinion. I'm glad I watched it once, but it's probably not one that I'll go back to and revisit anytime soon. But what I will say is this. This movie would be a great way to get a young child into superheroes. If you've got kids, or you got a young niece or nephew, or younger siblings, and you like superheroes and want them to be into the same things you're into, this is a great movie to show them, because it's a good segue to get them familiar enough with DC and with superheroes and with some of these characters without them having to remember like lore or anything like that. It's just a good way to get them accustomed to superheroes. And the reason I say that, the reason I bring that up, is not only because this movie is geared toward young kids, but I remember that my first introduction to superheroes was The Incredibles, and after that it was a Marvel comic crossover with like healthy eating or something like that was geared toward kids, and that just kind of like opened me up to the superhero world. And so it really can just be anything that can open kids up to like liking superheroes, and this I feel like is primed to do that perfectly. But if you made it to the end of the video, thanks for sticking around. If you want to help me out, I'm still trying to grow the channel. Liking, commenting, or subscribing to the channel would really help me out. Have you seen this movie? What did you think about it? If you like it, let me know. If not, also let me know. But until next time, bye.